Family Stadium as Coach Chris Oliver joins me here now. And Coach, wow, what a performance today. 35-0 over Georgetown. I was talking to right as the game was coming to a close, and I remembered the 2010 season when, believe it or not, in our very first season, we were playing to maybe win what was then the Mid-South Conference East Division, or West, I think it was the East Division at the time. I don't know if anybody thought that, we had a legitimate shot against Georgetown, but we were still playing for them. They shut us out. We kind of got humbled a little bit. But boy, today, how the tide has changed. What a great effort by your team today.
Yeah, really proud of how we came out and played today. And obviously the defense set the tone. And offense did some good things in spots. Was a little bit inconsistent, but, man, our defense was consistent. I thought our special teams were pretty solid. And really a great day, against a really tough opponent.
You talked about the special teams for just a moment. I want to talk about the hidden yards there for a moment. You looked at the return yards, or looking at the stats today, and I don't see. I'd have to pull back, but Bob mentioned it when going over the yards just a few minutes ago. 252 total return yards. Now that encompasses kickoffs, punts, and interceptions.
Yeah.
When you take in account those hidden yards like that, I mean, it was very important, I should say.
Yeah, I think when we look at the starting field position throughout the course of the game and go back through the drive charts, you're see just a big difference with that, and it comes to those yardage that you're talking about. And anytime you can set up your offense and be in those types of spots more than a few times, that's a big plus, especially against a really tough Georgetown defense. I mean, I still think you look at that defense, and if you know Mid-South Conference football, NAIA football, you're still going to look at their defense and give them the props. And maybe they weren't the best defense on the field today, but that's still two really good defenses. So you talk about starting field position with that return yardage, and that's a big reason why the scoreboard ended up like it did.
Let's talk about the defense for a moment. Obviously, it's easy to look at the shutout and go, wow, what a performance. But you just look at just everything that you talk about, and you've got 0 for 11 on third downs, total yards allowed 113. I mean, those are just head-scratching numbers to me.
Yeah, it's a great performance, and I think we're +4 in turnovers.
Yeah.
Didn't turn the ball over on offense and got 4 turnovers. You do that, and then I think when we go back, obviously you 0 of 11 on third down, but when we go back and look at first down efficiency, they were in second and long all day long.
Yep.
I thought we had a great game plan, and props to our players for going out and executing.
They didn't really seem to have an answer for when you jammed that line of scrimmage. And this was as aggressive as I've seen a Lindsey Wilson. I mean, you're always your speed, and we talked about it in pregame, how important your speed is, but the aggressiveness of actually attacking the line of scrimmage was obviously the forefront.
Yeah, I thought our defensive staff came up with a great plan on some things that we wanted to attack in their pass protection and some of their run game, and keying off some of those things. And I think they figured out as the game went on why and when we were doing those things. You could see them trying to counter it, but it was still really effective for us, and I thought our kids did a great job. Anytime you can have guys immediately in the backfield like we did a number of times today, I mean, that's just hard to handle as an offense. And when we are hitting them on the handoff exchange or hitting the quarterback before he can complete his drop, you're not going to have positive plays. So credit to our defense that they played outstanding.
The first quarter was kind of a chess match, so to speak.
Yeah.
It was difficult for really the offensives to adjust to the type of defenses that were being thrown at them. What did you do differently when you kind of hit that second quarter and I guess started to get some momentum offensively?
Well, we finally hit a big play, kind of got us going, and I think the first big one of the day, I think, was Logan Collier up our sideline, and we wanted that chunk play. And I think I mentioned it to you beforehand. It may have been in the conversation just with you and I, but this is a defense that you're going to struggle to have that 10, 12, 15 play drive. You're not just going to go 4 and 5 yards at a time. You have to create the big play, and it felt like early on we just didn't hit any of those big plays. So we punted. We don't like to punt, but you got to end every series in a kick. If you do that, then you're going to give yourself a chance as opposed to turning it over. But I thought we hit that big play, and then that opened up some things for us. But it was still rough sledding for us on offense. I mean, you look at the scoreboard, you think, okay, 5 touchdowns, but a lot of it was, good field position from some of those returns on special teams and defense. But it was tough sledding, I think, for both offenses. But I think we made some adjustments and hit that big play and found some good stuff there.
You talked about wanting to go downfield some today. How much was wind a factor that didn't allow you to do as much as you would like to? Because there's a couple balls that got up in the air that just kind of died against that wind.
Yeah, we chose not to make changes to our play calling. We still tried to take those shots, but a lot of them were very tough to play in the air. You think about a couple times where we had DeMaurier running down. You think about towards their scoreboard in the second half. Josh Lewis had one that was deep, and I think if that ball isn't fluttering and starting to die,
right,
that he catches that ball an awful lot. Those are tough to play down the field. It was one of those things where Cameron throws a pretty good deep ball even into the wind. So we didn't really change our play calls, but unfortunately we didn't hit many of those play calls as well. When the opportunity came, and we got to continue to adjust to that as you get into late in the season, and then we've been in the playoffs a number of times. You start playing in late October, November, and beyond, and you're very likely to have high wind situations. So you got to have a good plan for those things, and we got to get better at that.
Coach, thanks. Congratulations on a big win today.
Thank you.
That's all WCN.